Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnu Prabhupada Paramahansa Paribhashakacharya Ashtottara Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Leela Pravishnom Vishnu Pad Ashtottara Sri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Sadguru Swami Ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopagopana Shamakunda Radha Kunte Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Gangamai Ki Yamunamai Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Samabhata Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Brihat Miranga Ki Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Ki Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Nitai Gaur Premanandi Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki all glory to the Samati devotees, all glory to the Samati devotees, all glory to the Samati devotees, all glory to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga Shri.
Hare Krishna. So I'd like to welcome Maharaj for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Hari Bol. And I'd also like to welcome her guest Nikunj Nivasani Mataji. Hari Bol. Mataji is very kindly come with Maharaj and she has also earlier come. She serves Maharaj and helps us to serve Maharaj. Thank you very much Mataji. Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome Mataji by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So request Sakshi Gopal Prabhuji to offer garland to Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj की जय। और जिन लोगों को अनुवाद चाहिए वो पीछे हो रहा है जहाँ पे कूलर है उस जगह पे हृदय हरि प्रभु अनुवाद कर रहे हैं जिनको सिर्फ हिंदी का अनुवाद चाहिए।
Are you going to translate? Are you going to translate? Okay, good. Yeah, because that's very loud. It hurts my ears. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Offer our obeisances to the Srimad Bhagavatam in electronic manifestation. No. Actually, I was making the point that Srila Prabhupada's books, they're not really books. No. They're actually deities. No. So, when we distribute books, we're distributing deities. No. We can't think this is a book. As I was explaining in many temples, I've been explaining that when I was in Hungary, I was very impressed that they keep the Bhagavatam on the altar. And when the time for the class, they bring the Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name on a silver platter wrapped in silk. Because it's Krishna in literary form. We can't think it's a book. We talk about book distribution, but actually we're distributing Krishna. So, to everyone. And that's why book distribution is so important, because they actually get a deity, and when they put it on their bookshelf thinking it's a book, but the potency of that book coming from the parampara and from Srila Prabhupada is very special. And so, anyway, just to remember that. Also, I wanted to just explain something that most people chant the Panchatattva mantra like the Gaudiya Math style, Shivasadi Gauda Bhaktivinoda. But Srila Prabhupada chanted, as I chanted this morning, But there's a reason why he chanted like that. It's not like, oh, this is my style. But Srila Prabhupada chanted like that because he said, Gadadhar Shrivas. And he separated the Shrivas from the Adi because he wanted to pronounce each name of the Panchatattva very clearly. Anytime Prabhupada chants the Panchatattva mantra, you'll see every time he does it like that. He doesn't say Shrivas Adi, which actually is correct, grammatically correct. But to emphasize the Panchatattva, every name, and especially Shrivas, by whose mercy we can have access to the rest of the Panchatattva. Shrivas is Jiva Tattva, but Gadadhar is Shakti Tattva. And so, only by the mercy of the spiritual master can we have access to the Shakti Tattva, and through the Shakti Tattva we can have access to the Vishnu Tattva. So, Srimati Radharani is the maximum manifestation of Shakti Tattva. So, it's not just some melodious style of Prabhupada. It's actually a deliberate teaching that we should always remember the complete Panchatattva. So, since we're in Kurukshetra, I wanted to read this particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 82nd chapter, text number 48. This is a verse spoken by the gopis when they met Krishna. This is after after Krishna had met all the different residents, first the kings, then the Yadus, then the residents of Vrindavan, beginning with Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai. So we'll discuss that a little bit. But this is the last prayer of that meeting spoken by the gopis. And this prayer is spoken about many times in Chaitanya Charitamrita, prayer of the gopis. Ahushchate nalinanabha padaravindam Yogeshvaraye Hridi Vichitam Adgada Bodhai Samsara Krupa Patito Taran Balambam Geham Jusham Apimanas Yudita Sadana Ahushchate Nalanina Vindam Yogeshvare Hridi Vichintyam Agada Bodhaye Samsara Krupa Patito Tarana Balamban Keham Jusham Apimanas Yudiyad Sadana Ushate Nalinana Vapadaravindam Yeshpare Hidi Vichintyamagada Bodhai
Sansara Kupa Patito Uttaran Alambam
Sarakupa Patito Dhananavalambam
Geham Jusamapi Mansudiyat Sadana
Uchate Nalinyava Paradavindam Yogeshware hidi vichintya magadabodai.
संसारकूपपतितोत्तरणावलम्बम्
Patito
येऽहं जुषामपि मनस्युदया सदाना
Yam Jushamapi Manasudana. Okay. Vaishnavis, you want to try? Uchanayani. Patito Tarana Valambam Yam Jusham Apipana Judidat Sadana Ahuchanena Linana Vaparara Vindam Yogashpare Hidivachintyam Agada Bodhai Rupa Patito Tarana Valambam Deham Jusham Apipana Sudidat Sadana Ahu. The gopis said, Cha and Te your Nalinanabha, O Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower. Pada Aravindam, lotus feet. Yoga Ishvarai, by the great mystic yogis. Hriddhi, within the heart. Vachintyam, to be meditated upon. Aghada Bodhai, who were very highly learned philosophers. Samsara Krupa, the dark well of material existence. Patita, of those fallen. Uttarana, of deliverers. Abalambam, the only shelter. Geham, family affairs. Jusham, of those engaged. Api, though. Manasi, in the minds. Udiyat, let be awakened. Sada, always. Naha, hour. Translation and purport. The gopis spoke thus, Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts. Although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. So everyone can please repeat. The gopis spoke thus. Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts. Although we are ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vichaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dalati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Rishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So just before beginning the purport, we see the similarity between this prayer and the prayer of Queen Kunti, where she says, I'm just an ordinary woman. She's not an ordinary woman. Her prayers are recited by the greatest devotees of the world and honored by them. But she says, great Mr. yogis and philosophers, they can understand you. How can I understand you? But this is a revelation, and here the gopis are making a revelation that you can't understand Krishna by being a great philosopher, or by being a great mystic yogi. In the Upanishads it says that Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labho Na Midaya Na Bahuna Shrutena, that one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by attending big conferences of scholarly people, or by having great intelligence, or by reading many books. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, it's not good to read so many books. Meaning, just read the Bhagavatam. No? In the beginning of the Bhagavatam, it says, Srimad Bhagavate, Mahamune Krite. This Bhagavatam is sufficient. What is Kim Pararaishva? What is the use of others? No. What is the use of any other book? We have other books to help us understand the Bhagavatam because it's so great. We have the books of the six Goswamis. We have commentaries of the Acharyas. We have Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. We have Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Sat Sandarbha, all based on the Bhagavatam. It's everything. Rupa Goswami, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, all based on Bhagavatam. He quotes other Shastras, but mostly he quotes Bhagavatam. We have Chaitanya Charitamrita, which quotes 90% Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So we have Bhagavad Gita for Sambandha, Bhagavatam for Abhideya, and Chaitanya Charitamrita for Prayojana. The Prayojana is when we take shelter of the devotees. So here the gopis are telling us, don't take shelter of mystic yogis. Don't take shelter of great philosophers. Take shelter of those persons like them who appear to be ordinary persons. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was hearing from Ramananda Roy, please tell me the goal of life. Please. And so he spoke so many things, and he even came to Sarvaramam Parichaja. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected it. And then he said, Brahmabhuta Prasanatmana Shuchi. No, he also rejected that. It's going to all be misunderstood. Then he said, Jnane charprayasam udapasya namanta eva. That when one gives up the pursuit of all types of knowledge and simply takes shelter, even if one is just situated in one's own house, it doesn't matter. That when one tanovan manobir, when one one's words, one's mind, and one's actions are all fully dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this is the perfection of life. You know? And in that state, yat praya sho, jito chitaptais lokyam, then when one reaches that platform, one can conquer that person who cannot be conquered within the three worlds. Krishna. No. He cannot be conquered by any external force, but he wants to be conquered by his devotees. But in the 5th canto, the demigods pray, speaking on behalf of Krishna, that I can give liberation very easily, but I will not give bhakti so easily, because I have to come under the control of that person. No. When Krishna was in form of Damodar, crawling between the twin Arjun trees, he was thinking, why should I liberate these two rascals? No. You know, they're offensive to my devotee. But my devotee is requesting me to liberate them. This is how merciful he is. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was speaking to Haridas Thakur in the Mahapraharana Lila, where he revealed himself to the devotees. He said, when I saw that you were being tortured, I was coming with my Sudarshan chakra in my hand, ready to kill these people. But then I saw you, how merciful you were. And instead, then he turned around, he showed his back, and he had marks all over it. Instead, I took all of these beatings on my own back so that you would not suffer. No. So this is how much the Lord loves his devotee. No. So the gopis, they are the highest. No. They are the highest. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Aradyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam, that one should worship Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one should worship Vrindavan Dham, where he held his pastimes, and Ramya Ke Chit Upasana Brajabaldu Vargina Yakalpita. And one should do this worship in the mood of the gopis. No. And how do we understand the mood of the gopis? Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam, no, Amalam. Through the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the spotless Purana. And what do we find, what do we get from that? No, Prema Pamunarto Mahan. We get the highest prema. And how do we know this? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatardara Na Paraha. Because we get it from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is giving the highest understanding of Krishna consciousness. No. So, just some thoughts in the beginning. Just this verse itself is explaining how the gopis are saying you just have to surrender to Krishna. Even if you're an ordinary person. They represent themselves as ordinary persons. They think of themselves as ordinary persons. They don't think, oh, we're the gopis, we're above everyone else. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm a big GBC, I'm a sannyasi, no. I'm a this, I'm a that, no. And we become proud and we become ambitious. No. All these, the more upadis you get in Krishna consciousness means the lower you go. How much more you should be. If you have all the, all the upadis, now, Sinya, GBC, Guru, BBT trustee, bureau member, you have all the big titles, then you must be under the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas. Otherwise, those titles will simply contaminate the heart. So the more titles we have in Krishna consciousness, the people always ask me, what is your rank? Like, what is your, I say, dasanudasa. Some people ask me, what is your aspiration in life? I say, just to be the servant of all the devotees. What? They don't. You don't want, what about money, fame? Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was going to chastise Advaita Acharya, he was on his way with Nityananda Prabhu, and they came by the house of a, what do they call, anyway, a so-called sannyasi, Dada sannyasi, who had a female companion. So he came out, and so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please give me blessings. And he said, yes, may you marry a very beautiful woman, and may you have wealth and long life. And he said, oh, this sounds like a curse. He thought, I will bless you with pure bhakti. And so he complained. And this so-called sannyasi said, just see these impudent young people of Kali Yuga. Now, people say the same thing. Even when we preach Krishna consciousness to the Hindu community, they think they know better. Look at these young, foolish people. They think they know. We have dharma. We're good in our tradition. And tradition is good up to a certain point. Tradition is very good up to a certain point. Because tradition is meant for people who cannot understand philosophy. And philosophy is meant for people who cannot understand bhakti. But once you have bhakti like the gopis, they don't need philosophy. Philosophy is something that exists in this world. There's no need for philosophy in Goloka Vrindavan. The philosophy in Goloka Vrindavan is just please Krishna. What will give the greatest pleasure to Krishna? That is the philosophy. Anyway, so now we'll read the purport. The translation and word meanings for this verse are taken from Srila Prabhupada's English rendering of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 181, where this verse is quoted. Revealing the jealous mood in which the gopis spoke these deceptively reverential words. Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives their statements as follows. O Supreme Lord, O directly manifest Supersoul, O crest jewel of instructors in definite knowledge, you were aware of our excessive attachment to home, property, and family. Therefore, you previously had Uddhava instruct us in the knowledge that dispels ignorance, and now you have done so yourself. In this way, you have purified our hearts of contamination, and as a result, we understand your pure love for us, free from any motivation other than assuring our liberation. But we are only unintelligent cowherd women. How can this knowledge remain fixed in our hearts? So here the gopis are saying, we are unintelligent women, but an invasion of worms, the worm invasion. This in this part of Chaitanya Charitamrita that is being referred to here. He says Madhya Lila 181, but it's also quoted in Madhya Lila Madhya Lila 13, somewhere around like 120, 125. There's a conversation going on between Srimati Radharani, former Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Jagannath. Because she's convincing, this is what's actually happening in this chapter, but the Bhagavatam only gives a hint, and therefore the Goswami, especially Sanatana Goswami, has revealed this, and other, Rupa Goswami has also revealed this in his Uddhava Sandesh. And so what is happening is, as we see in the previous verses, Krishna is instructing the gopis, because they're saying, Krishna, we want you to come back to Vrindavan. And he says, well, why do I have to go back to Vrindavan? I'm in the hearts of every living entity. Therefore, you can meditate on us in your heart. Why do you need to go, So, but they're saying, we're not great yogis. We can't do this. And then Srimati Radharani speaks up, and she says, Krishna, this is very foolish what you're saying. No? You're telling me to meditate on you. I'm trying to forget you, and I can't forget you. So what does it mean to meditate on you? I can't stop meditating on you. So this is a foolish instruction. And then she quotes this verse and says, and the gopis have already told you that, we don't want to meditate. We simply want to serve your lotus feet. No. So why are you giving these foolish instructions that we should meditate on you? No. Just come back to Vrindavan. No. This is the only solution. No. So this is what's actually, so here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is revealing the minds of the gopis. Oh, you who are meditated upon by great yogis, don't tell us this, great philosophers, don't tell us to follow some philosophical process or yogic process, some jnani process, yogic process. No, we are simple cowherd girls, and we just want you to come to Vrindavan. So, how can this knowledge remain fixed in our hearts? We cannot even meditate steadily on your lotus feet, the focus of realization for great souls like Lord Brahma. Please be merciful to us and somehow make it possible for us to concentrate on you even a little. Of course, they're totally concentrated on Krishna. But what they're saying is, we could concentrate on you in Vrindavan. We were meditating on you constantly in Vipralamba, in separation. Now, how long was that separation? A few hours. Krishna would be dancing with the gopis until, about 4:15 in the morning. Then he comes, and we see him in the temple. He hasn't manifested here in his Radha Krishna form. But when you see Radha Krishna in the morning, Mangalartik, they're just returning home, because just before Brahma Muhurta, they have to return, go to their individual homes, and then Mother Yashoda will come and see Krishna lying there sleeping. And so this is that's why we should go to Mangalartik. Apart from the fact that we should get up early and chant the holy name, and we should come and receive the deity. The deities get up every morning at the same time. No matter what. If it's cold, if it's hot, it doesn't matter. They get up. So how can we not get up and come and receive them? We must do that. And if we're not near the temple, then we have the deity in our home. Even Panchatattva, even if you have a picture of Panchatattva, they will get up and say, where's my devotee? I'm here dancing and chanting, Udila Aruna Purava Bhagi Dvijamani. They're getting ready to go out and chant, and where's my devotee who's supposed to be, worshiping me so that I can go enter into their hearts and they can go out and chant the holy name. No, I'm here waiting to enter into your heart. No. This is what the gopis are saying. Please enter into our hearts. Don't engage us in this philosophical or yogic process. We are still suffering the reactions of our own fruitive work. So how can we meditate on you, the goal of great yogis? Such yogis are immeasurably wise. But we are mere feeble-minded women. Please do something to get us out of this deep well of material life. So beautiful. And so here again, they're representing us. Just like Arjuna represents us. He's not representing himself, he's representing us. And asking all these questions so that Krishna can reveal the Bhagavad Gita. So here the gopis are speaking so that Krishna can reveal the highest possible way that we can connect with him. Now we get a little philosophy. Pure devotees are never motivated by a desire for material elevation or spiritual liberation. And even if the Lord offers them such benedictions, the devotees refuse to accept them. Mukti Devi, she prays to Bhakti Devi. And she says that Ayam bhajate amtakaman Vaishnavais tyajamana. She says, she's praying to Bhakti Devi, please allow me to have this desire in my heart that I can meditate on you, because the Vaishnavas have rejected me. Otherwise, what is she saying? She's saying, Bhakti Devi, this is a special prayer of mukti, which is given by Sanatana Goswami, that she, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, she was very powerful. And in previous ages, she was very powerful. She was worshipped by the brahmacharis, by mantra. She was worshipped by the grihastas, by yajna. She was worshipped by the vanaprasthas, by tapasa, and worshipped by the sannyasi, by nyasa. But then she says, now, nishtam vihaya, I've given all this up. Now I can understand the only hope in Kali Yuga is through bhakti. And the Vaishnava, unfortunately, bhakti I can only get from the devotees, but they rejected me. No. And therefore, the only way that I can get the mercy of the devotees is by worshipping Bhakti Devi. No. Therefore, I worship her lotus feet. And then maybe the devotees will be merciful to me. Because if I offer myself and I offer liberation, devotees say, I don't want this. No, this is useless. So, therefore, we have to approach Krishna not a desire for liberation. We may say, oh, I don't want liberation. We may say that. No. But what is the real condition of my heart? I don't want to suffer. Otherwise, I want to be I want Krishna to liberate me from suffering. No? So I want Krishna to do some work. No? Krishna, you work for me. He's already promised that. No? Aham tvam sarva papabhyo mokshayishami ma shucha. He's already said, that's already done. No? Why don't you have faith in me and just surrender to me? It's already done. You're already freed from all your sinful activities. If you just surrender to me. So Krishna has promised this already. No. And so here, devotees refuse to accept liberation. As stated by Lord Krishna in the 11th canto, 11:20:34. Everyone should study this 20th chapter of 11th canto. So impregnated with bhakti. Lakinchat sarvodhira bhaktaye kantino mama panchantyapi maya datam kaivalyam apunarbhavam. Because my devotees possess saintly behavior and deep intelligence, they completely dedicate themselves to me and do not desire anything besides me. Indeed, even if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they do not accept it. No. And we're thinking, oh, Krishna, I'm suffering so much. Please save me. But actually what we're saying is, Krishna, I want sense gratification, and you're giving me so many problems. No. And that's what we're thinking in our conditioned state. No. So it is quite appropriate, therefore, that the gopis respond with a trace of jealous anger to Lord Krishna's attempt at teaching them jnana yoga. Thus, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the words the gopis speak in this verse may be interpreted as follows. O sun, who directly destroys the darkness of ignorance, we are scorched by the sun rays of this philosophical knowledge. We are Chakotra birds who can subsist only on the moonlight radiating from your beautiful face. Please come back to Vrindavan with us, and in that way, bring us back to life. Such a beautiful verse by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And if he says, then come to Dwarka, there we would enjoy together. They reply that Sri Vrindavan is their home, and they are too attached to it for them to take up residence anywhere else. Only there, the gopis imply, can Krishna attract them by wearing peacock feathers in his turban and playing enchanting music with his flute. Only by his appearing again in Vrindavan can the gopis be saved, not by any other kind of meditation on him or theoretical knowledge of the self. No. We're having trouble understanding or accepting in our heart the theoretical knowledge that I am a spirit soul. How far are we from this stage of devotion? No. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took darshan of Jagannath, originally, he was thinking, where's your flute? No. Otherwise, Jagannath standing there like, you see him? No flute. No. And so, although in the Jagannathastakam it says he has his flute tucked into his belt. No. But he's standing there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was praying, please, I want to see you with your flute. I want to see you with your peacock feather. No. Sometimes we put a peacock feather on Jagannath, but actually he doesn't have a peacock feather. No. Only when he comes to Vrindavan does he have a peacock feather. No. But devotees do that. Prabhupada never complained. No. Sometimes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or, because ultimately also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't wear a crown. No. You never see in Chaitanya Bhagavat Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with a crown. No. But we put a crown. Or we put a turban, no. And so, anyway. So, this is the end of the purport. So I just wanted to end this, because then Krishna, just as, of course it's not explained in the Bhagavatam, because it's explained previously, at the end of the Rasa dance, when Krishna unites with the gopis, they're very angry with him. So there's 3 beautiful verses I wanted to read, and coming up with 2 beautiful verses, and then we come up to Krishna's plea and petition. He's begging for the mercy of the gopis. No, which is na paraye ham, no, nirvadya samyujam. That my dear gopis, you are niravadya samyujam. You are completely free from all types of any motivation other than wanting to please me. Swasadu no kutyam. Even if I had the most pious existence, otherwise he's saying, I'm not even pious. I go to the forest at night and meet with gopis. Where's my piety? No. Vibhuda yusha siva. Even if I had the lifetime of Lord Brahma or the demigods, no, I could never, patiyatu sadhuna, I can never repay you. There's only one kind of payment for what you've done. Yama bhajan durjarageha shinkalam. No. You have given up the most difficult thing, which is attachment to family, society, and friendship. Now, the young people, especially in the West, they reject family. They reject. So, are they gopis? No. They take shelter of drugs. No. Although I give up family, then I take shelter of drugs or some crazy philosophy, or change my gender. No. Then everything will be okay. No. So they've given up something to take on something even more degraded. No. They've given up an attachment to take on degradation. No. So, and then Krishna says that samricha, no, tadva patiyatu sadhuna. Your payment is your very own total dedication to me. That is your payment. Otherwise, whatever you can give is greater than what I can give. No, that's the great. Tomorrow, I always mention this, tomorrow is Akshaya Tritiya. So the most famous thing that happens tomorrow is Sudam Brahman. He goes to see Krishna. After he goes and sees Krishna and he leaves Dwarka, Krishna is thinking, my devotee has defeated me. No. He gave me more than he had. He did not even have rice, but he borrowed some rice. So he gave me more than he had, but I cannot give him more than I have because I have everything. No. So therefore he has defeated me. No. So this is how Krishna sees his devotee, not us. No. It's how Krishna sees devotees like Sridham, like Sudam, Sridham, the gopis. This is how he sees them. They are greater than me. No, because their love cannot be paralleled. So in the two verses previous to that, Krishna said, just read them very quickly because they're very beautiful verses. Bhajato pinavai kechit. No, that's not it. Naham tu sakyo bhajato bijantum bhajam yamisham anuvritta vitaye. No. He's saying that I've already reciprocated with you. I'm giving you a special reciprocation. No. Anuvritta vitaye. And what is that? Yatadano labdadane vinashte. Because just as a wealthy person, a poor person, when they get wealth and they lose it again, then tachchintayana nibrito nabeda, they can't think of anything else. So I have given you that. And then he offers his apology. Evam mad artu uchita loka veda swanam. Those of you who have given up loka, this world, Veda, all knowledge, and Swanam, all reputation and friendship and family. Hivo mai anvritate balaha. No. I have increased your loving propensity. What did I do? Maya paroksham. I disappeared. No. Tirohitam. I disappeared from your sight. You're accusing me of doing something very bad, but I did this to increase your love. Because I was also separated from you, that's what he's saying. So he says, Ma suyetum. Don't become envious of me, don't become angry with me. No. Marhatatat priyam priyaha. I am your dearest and you are the dearest to me. So this is Krishna. He's excusing himself. He's apologizing. Here's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of the three worlds, begging for the mercy of the gopis. I treated you so badly, but now please be merciful to me. Please give me the shelter of your lotus feet. That's what Krishna is saying, essentially. No. I cannot pay you. I cannot compensate for what I've done. But I did it for you so to increase your attachment, because by you increasing your attachment for me, I increase my attachment for you. And this is our loving competition that goes on eternally. We cannot even understand this. We cannot understand how Srimati Radharani eternally always cooks better for Krishna. Because we will see it in terms of past, present, and future. She cooked like this, and she will cook like this. But that doesn't happen in the spiritual world. What happens? Every day, there's a day and night. That day and night is not, it is controlled by eternal time. And eternal time, Hare Krishna, invasion, no. Bugs from Mars, no. I think. It's not, eternal time means that it appears that there's a day, it appears that there is a night, but these are simply arrangements for changing the Leela. And by that changing of the Leela, the Leela increases in its intensity. And so we can't even, because we have to see it in terms of time, how we are living in this time and space continuum. No, but there is only continuum, and that continuum is always increasing. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. No, this Ananda Vardhana. No, it's one of Krishna's names, Ananda Vardhanam. He who always increases the bliss of his devotees. We can't even understand that, because we will see it in terms of past, present, and future. We can't understand eternal time, how things are just going on. The Ashtakaliya Leela, it appears that there are 8 changes day after day, but there's no after. It is just going on eternally and increasing. And Radharani is always increasing. The gopis are always increasing. The cowherd boys are always increasing, always playing with Krishna with more intensity. And it's always like this, eternally. Even eternal we can't understand, because we'll also see it in terms of time. Eternal means past, present, and future all together. So how can we understand it? Srila Prabhupada said, you will understand it when you're there. No. When you're there, you can understand it. No. No. So anyway, these are some thoughts on this particular verse. Bhagavatam, very beautiful part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where we see, everyone was in ecstasy. Even Devaki was in ecstasy. When she saw Yashoda Mai, she thought, Yashoda. She was trying to tell Yashoda that, thank you very much for taking care of my children. She didn't realize, she couldn't realize. Even Rohini realized, because she lived with Yashoda and then she lived with Devaki. So she could understand that the real parents were Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. She understood that. And actually, of course, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals that when Krishna was born, he was born in Vrindavan. And Vasudeva Krishna was born in Mathura. And when Vasudeva took Krishna, when he arrived there, it was very dark. He didn't see that Vasudeva Krishna entered into Vrindavan Krishna. When he put him down, he entered into Vrindavan Krishna. Some Vaishnavas say that actually Vrindavan Krishna, right at the point separating Mathura, in the middle of the Yamuna, right at the point separating Vrindavan from Mathura, that Vrindavan Krishna came and entered into Vasudeva Krishna, or absorbed Vasudeva Krishna. Whichever way it is, or maybe it's both ways. One scholar told me once, he said, whenever you go to a Vaishnava's can't explain something, you just say, achintya shakti, you know. That somehow, or you say different kalpa. Oh, it happened in a different kalpa. But that's true. No, Krishna, every time he appears, some things are different. Therefore, sometimes we'll hear something from different kalpas. So, how could we, that shows how it's difficult to understand Krishna. That's why it's stated that even Ananta Shesha, when he begins to describe Krishna, sometimes he takes into account all of these different kalpas and he gets all of these glories together, but then Krishna is doing more. He can never catch up. So this is the beauty of Krishna. And what is awaiting us if we can just get out of this conditioned state and these attachments that keep us from being absorbed in Krishna. Now we were discussing this morning. Now we're thinking, I don't want to get too absorbed in the Bhagavatam, otherwise how will I be able to satisfy my senses? I have all these plans in life. If I become too absorbed, then all these things may disappear. Just like Shakshi Gopal Prabhu. His Guru Maharaj said, you come here and do this. And he did it. He gave up all of his plans. Other devotees have done the same. So this is the example that devotees are giving. Srila Prabhupada even said, I wasted so much time. But what was he doing? He wasn't wasting time. Under Krishna's guidance, he was living responsible grihastha life to show that we should take care of our children, and because there was no question of him moving in and doing something, and he would have done that, except the Gaudiya Math leaders wouldn't allow him to do it. They would not allow him to become what he was. And therefore he took advantage of that to be responsible, and within his own family life he was preaching. And his wife didn't like that. She didn't want her home to turn into a temple. She wanted to enjoy nice tea and, enjoy life and be happy in my own house. But Prabhupada didn't want that. So ultimately, all these things are Krishna's arrangement. Showing at some point in time in everyone's life, you'll have to choose, as Prabhupada said, me or tea, And Prabhupada said, otherwise, do you want me? Because I want tea. So do you want me or do you want Bhagavad Gita? And Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is eternal, you're temporary. But he was responsible. So we should be responsible. But we should always be working toward how can I surrender? How can I give all this up? Just like Parikshit Maharaj. When he was cursed, he said he was very happy. First he was a little bewildered. Why did Krishna do this? Why did I wrap this snake around? I would never do such a thing. It must be Krishna. I would never do such a thing. And then he started to think, now I can give up this kingdom. Now I can give up his treasury and all these responsibilities. But in the case of Kurma Brahman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to give it all up. He said, don't give it up. You stay at home. Otherwise, he wasn't ready. He wanted to artificially give up his family responsibility. And so always Krishna consciousness, you always have this choice, which was spoken about in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Vishamaya samopastitam. In this moment of crisis, we're always being tested. What will you select? How will you follow the best path of Krishna consciousness? This choice will always be ours. And we have to make the right choice. And the right choice is never the same for everyone. But we always, Prabhupada said, you always have to be going toward, give up this material world. Give up this family life. The gopis did that. So many devotees have done that. How do we make that choice properly? Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya. We associate with the devotees and we take the instructions of Sri Guru and Gauranga to our hearts. And they will guide us to make the right choice at every moment. And sometimes we make the wrong choice. And Krishna will correct us if we simply remain faithful and surrendered to Krishna. So anyway, these are some additional thoughts on this verse. Any question or comment quickly? Now that, yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful
Just 1
class.
second. Let me put in my artificial ears so I can hear. All these loud microphones in India, they blew out my ears years ago. So now I have to use these little devices to hear properly.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for a wonderful class. Maharaj, in the beginning, you mentioned about how when a person gets some position and power, then they forget this mentality of dasanudas. So generally, like somebody is having some devotees to whom he is serving with, so he has to lead them, and sometimes instead of caring for them, having that mentality of becoming their servant to assist them in their bhakti, they sometimes utilize them for their own some purposes. So how to overcome this mentality and always be in dasanudas position?
How to do it? Just what we're doing right now. No. We sit together and we chant and we hear about Krishna. That's why Prabhupada established this Bhagavatam class. He didn't really establish, this was the system that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he began. Before that, there was no organized movement for Krishna consciousness. It was, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was establishing this. Otherwise, there was no organized movement. No. But this is the organized movement. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where did he get it from? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sadhu Sangha, you have to associate with devotees. Nama Kirtan, chant the holy name, Bhagavata Shravana, and hear the Bhagavatam. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he took those instructions and he constructed this format that Srila Prabhupada has given us. And if we follow this, then our hearts will become purified. But we have to follow it not mechanically, not let me go to the Bhagavatam class, then I'll get that over with, then I'll do the next thing and I'll get that over with, and then I'll do the next thing and I'll get that over with, like some mechanical thing, something I have to do. If we ever say I have to, it means our consciousness is not pure. Oh, I have to chant my rounds. It's like, then it's some austerity, some big sacrifice. It is, because we're not pure. So therefore, but we should understand, as long as I think like that, I have to do it. Not that I want to do it. When will I think, let me finish this bathing, get up and, so I can chant. Not, now I have to chant my round. Or I have to finish my round. You should never finish. Just like I mentioned many times. When devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, how can I chant 16 rounds with quality? Prabhupada said, 16 rounds means no quality. No. If you have quality, you cannot stop. And the only reason you chant 16 rounds is because you have so much service. Because you have so many duties. Otherwise, I would not be able to stop. That's quality. The Prabhupada said one time, why 16 rounds? Why not 25,000? No. If somebody can chant 25,000 rounds, then they must be chanting very quickly. No. So, this is understanding Krishna consciousness. Is that okay? Okay, well anyway, it's getting a little late, and I wanted to thank you all very much for your association and for being here and being dedicated to this wonderful project for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, for the pleasure of Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj, for the pleasure of Jagannath Baladev, Subhadra Devi, Gaurnitai, and all the Vaishnavas. We have so much to gain from this service, and so much to lose by not engaging in this service and thinking that there's some benefit in this material world. So this is our great fortune. So anyway, I hope to be here again in a few months, and then I will get the opportunity, we can associate again, and we can, by then, maybe everything will be finished, by Krishna's grace. We never know. Somebody can come up tomorrow and just say, oh, how much you need? 150 crores? Okay, no problem. Not that much. And actually, in our Chicago temple, I was there. One man came. He was just like Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Gopal Krishna Maharaj was a big representative for Pepsi Cola. This man was the CEO of what was it? Roy? I can't remember the name of it now. It was a cola from Canada. What was it? Anyway, so he came and he said, "So this temple is paid for?" I said, "No, we have a mortgage." He said, "How much is it?" They said, "Oh, it's 500 and some thousand." He said, "Okay." Pulled out his checkbook. Here. Devotees weren't expecting that. So it is by our devotion and by our sacrifice and by our dedication and by our desire, then someone can come. Just like one man, unfortunately, chose the wrong movement, but he went to Sai Baba, gave him $500 million. Just walked up here. So this can also happen to us. So we should just be fully dedicated and have full faith in. Of course, we're not just thinking, oh, let someone come up. No, we have to make our effort to make it happen. But if that effort it seems like it's so long away and we're doing everything we can, then Krishna can make some adjustment. We should have that faith. But that should not be our program. Prabhupada said, don't expect to get an honorary degree. You have to go study. Some people get honorary degrees, but we should not think, oh, that's a better process. So Prabhupada said that in relation to Kripa Siddhi. Don't expect to get Kripa Siddhi. You may get it, but try for Sadhana Siddhi. You perfect your lives by sincere devotional service. Then the Kripa will come. Not that let me wait until that comes. In the meantime, I will enjoy life, enjoy my senses. I'm such a nice devotee, Krishna will make some arrangement. No, I shouldn't think like that. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki jai, Shri Sri Gaurnitai ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to thank His